I came into this business 5 years ago, and I think this is the right environment. So if you have like even young people, they are your audience who are thinking, maybe I could try out my hand in this business. If you're willing to put in the work, this is a very good thing.
How long did it take you, to close one good client and you said, you know what, I never probably envisioned this, or probably I never knew it was going to come this soon?
Yes.
Like how long did it take you? In terms of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or even 9 figures,
yes,
what is the biggest business you've ever closed?
Okay, so are we talking of in terms of how much it paid me as a commission?
You can talk about that and also say about how much they paid.
Okay.
Inakuwaje Tongo Nguvu, mimi naitwa presenter Ali, your entertainment PA. The A is always for amazing. Siku zote natia bidii kuhakikisha kwamba nakuletea stories tofauti, and today I'm joined by one and only Mama Bima. The insurance lady, the go-to insurance lady any day, anytime. Nikushua mmemwona pale TikTok, mmemwona Instagram, na pia mitandao tofauti akizungumzia insurance. And many people have been asking, what is this insurance and why should I take it as a Kenyan? There are many questions that I have that I want to ask her today. And first of all, introduce yourself.
Yes.
Introduce hata watu wajue tuko na nani kwenye studio.
Awesome. Nimefurahia kuwa na nyinyi.
Na
Kiswahili si mdomo changu, so you forgive
It's totally fine.
Yes. I'm Charlene Kimara.
Yes.
Professionally naitwa Mama Bima.
Yes.
And as simple as I'm an insurance agent. Insurance agent. So kazi yangu ni I'm the liaison hapa katikati kati ya wateja na insurance companies. So mteja akikuja niambie, Charlene, maybe nataka motor insurance, ama nataka bima ya karo, ama nataka bima ya nini, bima ya maybe ya nyumba yangu na my assets. Then nikifanya just needs analysis, naenda kwa different companies, na get quotes, na leta tunachagua moja. So I am what you call an independent financial advisor. I work with different insurance companies in Kenya to get the right solutions for my clients.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's begin here. Do you think, or do you feel many Kenyans really, acknowledge or appreciate insurance?
No. And I'll tell you why. For a long time, insurance has been looked at as a product and a necessity. So it's not a priority within our financial, like if you're doing your budget, uko na zile like your key needs. Unajua, I need to do maybe my rent, I need to do my
water bill. Exactly.
So when you think of insurance, watu wengi wanaona it's like a luxury kind of expense.
Yes.
Nikitu, maybe it's the kind of expense and you meet after you have, once you're rich. Watu wanafikiria insurance is a conversation for rich people. So one, in a market where also, in our country, we can agree that a lot of people maybe tumefinyika kihela in a way. But at the same time, because it's one of those products that was never introduced to us early on. We went through school. But you ever thought about insurance, by the way? Maybe kidogo tu kwa business school, but the rest of us, even if you went hadi college, it was never emphasized. We were really never taught about what are the basic things you should have for you ili useme I am financially healthy.
Yeah.
You get? So this is when maybe, and thanks to social media and online digital platforms, I would say this is when our people, and especially young Kenyans, are maybe starting to appreciate insurance kidogo. Yes.
And you mentioned something that many people think that insurance is for the rich.
Yes.
Is this claim true? In insurance, nikizungumzia claim, it's something different. But is this claim true?
Insurance is not for the rich. Ali, it's I'm trying to imagine how old you are, because I can tell where the kakangu mdogo, like you're young, okay? For someone your age, if you are going to buy, say, a medical insurance policy, unajua kuna different types of insurance. Tuongele medical, because najua a lot of people appreciate medical insurance. When you go to hospital, itakulipia maybe consultation fee kwa daktari, utumwe lab, italipa whatever charges utachajiwa kwa lab. Maybe utumwe kwa pharmacy kuchukua madawa, italipia madawa, si ndio? So a lot of people really appreciate medical. A medical cover, yenye what we call a budget medical insurance, yenye itakupeleka mid-level hospitals like Coptic, akina Avenue, akina Equity Afya, so mid-level hospitals. Kwa mwaka moja, if you are taking a cover ya 500,000 inpatient, 50,000 outpatient, utakuwa unalipa about 24,000 for the whole year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So insurance is not a preserve of the rich.
So that is like 2,000 every month.
Yes. Of course, you would be required to pay in a lump sum.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're not in a position to pay in a lump sum, then we use something inaitwa insurance premium financing, which is a short-term loan. Tunaenda kwa bank, wanakulipia the entire premium, then they charge you about 5,500 as a transaction fee, then they allow you to pay them back in over 4 months. Okay. So, but otherwise, you can already see, like kwa mtoto mdogo, if you're taking like a cover, let's say the same medical cover for a child below 19 and below, you're paying 17,900 and something. Do you get?
Yeah.
So, yes, there are different types of covers. Kuna cover yenye utaambiwa ulipe 60K, you know, kuna covers pia za 40, 50, 80, etc. But also, there are insurance policies that can pretty much handle every other budget that we have. So kama yako is not as high, you can still get a product for your pocket.
And why? What is one thing that would you tell the viewer, like, why should I take a cover? Like, I mean, nimekuwa nikilipa bills zangu za hosi. And then someone would also say that, mi hata sikumbuki mara ya mwisho nimekuwa mgonjwa, you know.
I know, right?
Yeah, and they're telling you, this 24,000, I could start a business with, I could do something else. Mbona nichukue hii cover?
Okay, and you know, when you are young, by the way, one of the beauty of being very young, I am no longer as young, but I'm turning 39 this year. So mwili is already, at this point, I can't take too many chances. I need medical, okay? When you're much younger, you can, for sure, you can take a few things, you know, and say, anyway, hata sikumbuki the last time maybe nilikuwa na homa. And in case hata nipate hiyo homa, I'll take my ginger shot. Nitaenda ninunue hot lemon and ginger, the concoction, and I'm good to go.
I'm a flugo near 50 bob.
I know, right? But when you're thinking of money, okay, I would say it's not a question of either this or that. For sure, if you're this young person, you're in very good health and money is limited, I can tell you also, if I had 24K, I would probably go take it to biashara.
Yeah.
You get? But when you get to that point where there's also something extra. You get? Because when you have, if it's an asset, for example, my health is an asset. Ali, I need to wake up every day and go to work.
Yes.
Okay? If I'm not in good health, okay, I cannot go do what I need to do. And that heavily impacts my income. Sindio, that month, I will feel that because maybe nilikuwa kwa nyumba siku 3, siku 4, I missed out on X income. You get? So, if you value something, it could be an asset. Unaona kama hizi camera tunatumia? Okay, these are assets for your business. You get? The space that we are in, these are assets for your business. If you value something and you know that if this thing was either to be stolen, if this thing was to what? To break, I would go through into a financial loss, then now you need insurance. Okay? So insurance comes in to ensure that you're actually hurudishwi to zero. Okay? When the worst happens, for example, niliona uko na gari mzuri. You get?
Yes.
You want to ensure that. I mean, even if one tail light ingeblow kwa gari kama hiyo, I mean, inakurudisha nyuma sana.
True.
You get?
Yeah.
But when you have that motor insurance policy, unajua, like you even have that peace of mind to know that if anything happens, okay, I know that I will just place a claim with the insurance company, and as long as I'm with a reputable insurance company, nitarudishwa pale nilikuwa. So insurance kazi yake ni kukurudisha to your original financial position.
In case something happens.
Yes, when something happens.
Yeah,
yes.
when. because it can happen.
Yes.
That brings me to a point. A friend of mine once told me that I am one step away from poverty. It only requires like one medical bill.
Yeah.
And many people do not think about it that way because like mimi nimekuwa tu sawa. But the moment you are stuck with something like a chronic illness, and you're told like you need 10 million, and probably that's what you had saved, yote imeisha, umerudi back to where you are.
Yes.
Does insurance cover those chronic illnesses?
Yes. And I love that. I love what your friend told you. And that's the reality for most Kenyans, by the way, Ali. A lot of Kenyans are literally one medical bill away.
That is the statement.
From absolute poverty. Mnarudishwa nyuma. Like recently, I've had a good friend of mine and a colleague of mine. We were supporting her to fundraise for her auntie, and the bill was 6.8 million.
Wow.
And mna fundraise 1 month later, that bill is not moving. Ata hamjaguza 2 million. And you see what that does to families. Sasa familia inaanza kurudi kwa, what assets do we have? So kama ni shamba, like hospitali inawaambia, bring us title deed. They have to send valuers to confirm. So unaona prime land Nairobi tu imeenda hivo. And by the way, in such cases, rarely do those title deeds come back. Because if you had all this time and you were still unable to raise like the full, that 6.8, most likely hamtapata. So you have to offload like assets, and mara mingi hata mnazipeana at almost throw away. Unapata it's a very prime property, but imewekwa tu maybe to fit hii bill imebaki ya 4.8, and possibly because you'll never be able to raise that 4.8 mpeleke hospitali eventually will keep the property. You get? It is true. And a lot of families, and even if you look at statistics in Kenya, bankruptcies, a lot of families are bankrupted, like they're pushed to the brink of bankruptcy, wanaisha kabisa, because of medical bills. Like now, medical insurance, let me give you a small crash course on how medical insurance works, okay? Ukienda kununua medical cover, the compulsory benefit kwa medical cover inaitwa inpatient. Okay, inpatient ni yenye it covers you in case uende hospitali ulazwe. Okay, so for all those bills kama the hospital, the bed yenye unalala, hiyo chakula unapewa, daktari akipiga round anakuja anafanya consultation hapo kwa kitanda, from any other needs that could be, maybe upelekwe theater for a surgery or anything. So all the expenses while you're hospitalized are catered for by the inpatient benefit.
Okay.
Halafu kuna outpatient. Outpatient, nilikuwa nimeimention mapema kidogo, is where when you go now to see a doctor, ile tu one visit, unafanya consultation, then maybe anakutuma kwa lab, unafanya tests, then unaenda pharmacy kuchukua madawa. Now that's the outpatient benefit yenye that covers for that. Ama tuseme maybe ulikuwa umechomeka burns, so unaenda tu hospitali to be dressed.
Yes.
And then unaenda nyumbani. Sindio? That's outpatient. That's the one that covers those bills. Then your medical cover pia iko na what we call maternity, like for ladies.
Yes.
Who are in that childbearing age. So when you're expectant, your maternity cover will cover both the visits zenye unaenda kuona daktari every month. We call that prenatal care. Okay, so your maternity benefit will cater for the prenatal care, and it will also cater for the actual delivery. Now, when you go to finally, get the baby, and your medical cover can also have dental and optical benefits. Sasa optical ni to get glasses, ama kwenda kuona ophthalmologist, daktari wa macho, angalia how things are. Or dental, you can go maybe to get your teeth cleaned, get your teeth aligned, and all those things. In a nutshell, that is how a typical medical cover huenaka. Now, when we talk of chronic illnesses, now a chronic illness, mara mingi, it will be defined kama nile ugonjwa yenye maybe haina tiba. You see, like diabetes.
Yes.
Ukienda hospitali, huambiwi nimekupe dawa ya diabetes sasa imeisha leo. What we do with diabetes is just managing it.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe if you're on insulin, utapewa your insulin, and then every other month unarudi kuendea madawa and just for regular checkups. Now that's a chronic ailment. Okay, now chronic illnesses are covered by insurance. So ukilazwa hospitali, bill italipiwa from the inpatient. If it's just the normal going in to see your doctor, italipa from outpatient. But then there's also what we call critical illnesses.
Okay.
Okay, so critical illnesses, it's the likes of, let's say, cancer, you know, a kidney failure, you get something like a stroke, a coma, paralysis, a heart attack, a major organ transplant. Those we call critical illnesses. So a critical illness is the one who unasikia, we are taking our loved one maybe to India, and we project maybe the cost will be 9M, 10M.
Yes.
Now, that is treating a critical illness. And yes, your medical cover will be able to cater for that, but mara mingi, it cannot cover for the entire bill.
Yeah.
Maybe because utajipata uko na cover ya 1 million. And maybe out of that 1 million in patients, only 500K, ama maybe 450K, there's something we call a sub-limit. They're like pockets within inpatient. Yenye unaambiwa, if you get an accident, we would pay the bill up for the entire 1M. But if you kama ni chronic illness, tuseme kama diabetes, maybe tutalipa bill hadi 350. Kama ni critical illness, and it's the first time you've gotten it in your lifetime. So we call that a newly diagnosed, let's say chronic or critical illness. This one will cover up to 500 or even maybe the entire 1M. Okay, so your medical cover is able to cater for that, but it depends with how much benefit or how much coverage you have. Okay, so for those very big illnesses, okay, like the ones I've listed, it's always good to have an insurance policy naitwa critical illness cover.
Okay.
So that one is specifically. Na ukinunua pia utakuwa umelistiwa that these are the illnesses that are covered. God forbid, in case you're diagnosed with these illnesses.
I get it now.
Yes.
Because I've heard people say that, si tulikuwa na medical cover, lakini walikataa. So that is what happens, like probably walifika limit or something of that sort.
So I'll tell you, and I hope people can listen and see our industry is really, how can I say, we are accused a lot of either maybe the bill was this, they either paid half an M, or the bill was this much, they didn't even pay the entire bill. If you ever see a bill that has been denied by insurance, there's a reason behind it. Mara mingi, like Ali, one of the key mistakes that a lot of Kenyans make is, naenda hosi leo, naambiwa, kuna dalili that, you know, the lumps maybe that I have that could easily maybe be breast cancer, for example. What will the typical Kenyan do immediately? And akimbia natafuta Mama Bima, we need medical insurance.
Okay.
You get? And immediately we sign up. But within that medical cover, hata hatujaangalia, because you see, you've not disclosed to me. Mi tumekuja ukaniambia I need medical cover. Hujaniambia maybe there's this care tumepata, ama kuna hii diagnosis tumepata. So what most people don't understand, that already kuna something called waiting period within that medical cover. Maybe umeambiwa kama ni chronic illness, let's say diabetes, high blood pressure, for treatment of those, there's a 1-year waiting period. So that means treatment inaanza year 2.
Year 2.
So let's say things were really bad a month down the line, 2 months down the line, the policyholder amepelekwa hospitali. So when they make the claim to the insurance is like, hatulipi, this is their first year on cover. They have not yet served the waiting period for chronic illnesses. I think where watu wengi hawapatani na insurance is, number one, we don't understand maybe the products we are taking vizuri, like we don't internalize. We don't read the brochures very carefully. Mara mingi will sign up a product even without engaging your agent. You know, I keep saying your agent, even before you sign up, muulize maswali.
Maswali, yes.
Do you get? Ask, what could be the reasons that could mean I won't be, like our claim haitalipwa, tunaweza enda hospitali tuambiwe bill haitalipwa. You get? What could be some of those circumstances? You get? So I usually feel that because of maybe a lack of proper knowledge of the product that we are taking up, okay? Or also trying to, for lack of a better term, trying to game the system.
Yes.
You get? Najua niko mgonjwa, and then I run and try to take a critical illness cover.
Junajua sita manage. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, because there's a pending bill, or maybe I'm even expectant. I realize I'm 6 weeks expectant. And what do? I run to Mama Bima. Mama Bima, I want a medical cover with maternity insurance. Then what you don't realize is there's actually a 1-year waiting period before that cover can take effect. So if you buy it when you're already expectant, it will not cover you for that current pregnancy.
Okay.
I think that's where the dissatisfaction for a lot of people wanakasirika sana na insurance.
I've also heard people say that, you know, I took maybe, of course, there are different types of policies.
Yes.
There's the health insurance, there's the whole life.
Yes.
And, you know, they say that mzazi wangu alikuwa amechukua whole life. Then probably after they passed away, hatujawahi kuwa compensated. You know, those kinds of conversation. How do you counter it?
Not even countering. The thing is, anytime I come across that, I just request. But they reach out to me. Let me understand what it is. Let me understand which company. I told you I work for different companies in the market. I will literally do my best with my team to ensure we get to the bottom of things and help you get paid. If it's a legit claim, you know, people don't understand. Claims are paid in this market every single day. And a genuine claim not being paid is a reason for you to even walk to the regulator, wanaitwa IRA, the Insurance Regulatory Authority, walk in there and you have a very big case against that insurance company. So it's always good to understand. The thing with insurance, unfortunately, huwa kuna terms and conditions mingi. So sometimes you'll know maybe my parent had a cover. You get? Like, and you can see maybe even the policy document unaona nalikuwa nalipa. So it's always good to know. If you just bring me that document, by the way, I will definitely, I pretty much know someone in every insurance company in the market, whether it's the claims team. And, you know, even if this is a business for me and I'm here to, you know, to sell and to earn, I also believe in giving back. You know, just come, let's go. And I'll ensure by the time you're getting, whether it will be now a valid Sawajazeni forms, we pay the claim, or if they get to a point of saying, this is why we are not paying this claim, I believe that by palenta kufikisha, you will be satisfied by whatever verdict will be given.
Yes.
Okay? Because by the way, and I hope people can understand, valid claims, by the way, Ali, are paid in the market.
By all insurance companies?
Now, all maybe is a stretch.
Okay.
Like for me, you see, we have many insurance companies in the market. And even in my business, I already know who do I sell for. Like for medical, I work mainly with 7 companies when I'm selling medical insurance. There are more than 7 companies that are selling medical insurance in the market. But there's a reason why I decide if I meet a young person, now maybe budget ya inakaa hivi, I will work with company X and Y. Nikipatana maybe na mzazi mwenye ako 64 years and above, I will work with company this and this. You get? And there are also companies that sell medical and I don't distribute for them.
Yes.
Because already najua, maybe shida ya, maybe they delay too much to pay the doctors. So what happens, client akienda kuona huyo daktari, anasema, no, you pay me in cash, uende ukaitishe insurance. You get, you want to avoid those inconveniences. Okay? So, I wouldn't say all. There are definitely maybe some companies in our market that are definitely struggling. Like sometimes there's some motor insurance policies, unaweza niambia that I'm with this company kuangalia zile za, hey, how did you even land there?
Yes.
Yet, in the same market, there's a motor claim yenye tunaweza weka with a company and you are shocked at how fast, like how fast they pay claims, the quality of the garages they have in their panel. You're shocked by how, kama even if it's a write-off, how fast your check comes out.
Yes.
You get. Yeah. So kampuni hazitoshani, by the way.
That's true.
You get.
Na pia si zote ni legit.
Exactly.
Yes. Like any other business.
Yes, just like any other business. Yeah. So it's always good to know. And now that's the other thing. Mara mingi Kenyans are just looking for which one will give me the cheapest premium.
Yes.
And sometimes we get it wrong from there. You get. You may find a company that could be charging 5,000, maybe more. Yet that is the company that would have given you so much peace. You get. So at least when you're working with an insurance agent, just query your agent. By the way, so umesema tuende na hii. Why, like, how are they in terms of claims, even turnaround time? Kama sasa ni ya gari. Ask, will I get even a courtesy car? So kama gari yangu maybe imeenda garage, do I get a car to use in the meantime?
Yes.
How long will I have that car, that courtesy car? You get. Because you find, query even the kind of cover umepewa. So yes, nimepata comprehensive, but hii comprehensive, in case I have a claim, kuna kitu mtaniambia nilipe from my pocket, because I think we saw Jalango complain.
The other day,
and say kuna hii kitu inaitwa excess, yenye insurance, watu zimengoja zikushike tu nayo. And you find your claim is 150K ama 300K, and you're told to pay a very huge part of that amount you get. So, but by the way, if you have a good agent, let me tell you, I keep saying insurance, si kwenda to like over the counter and you pick sweetie, peremende, and then you walk away. Please get a good agent, mwenye, who even gives you many comparative quotes kwanza. Sema, Shalina, want maybe a motor cover. Kuna maswali nitakuuliza, what's the make and model of the vehicle? What's the approximate value? What's the year of manufacture? And then, from just those 3 questions, nitakuletea different quotes. Nitakuletea quote ya comprehensive, ikiwa na excess, ikiwa na PVT, like political violence and terrorism. Nitakuletea mpaka yenye imekuwekea katasika, yenye imekuwekea mpaka AA road rescue. Na hapo sasa unaanza kuniambia pana sasa.
Sitaki hii, nataka hii.
But then, ukianza kufika mahali pa kuniambia toa excess, then I sit you down. And I tell you, Ali, this is what it means kutoa excess protector. Okay, are you comfortable knowing that if an accident or a claim happens, you have to pay up to this amount? You get. So at least you're able to think through and say, wait, apana, wacha tunieke hiyo 5K ya excess, ikae.
Okay, and how does someone get an agent? Ama tu natafuta?
No, we have over 11,000 agents in Kenya. Or is it 13,000? Tuko wengi sana, by the way. And I feel sad because we are some of the most ignored people in this market. Yani, you see us, you run away. Please don't run away. You see our phone, ukipigia ali unakataa kuchukua, unasema huyu ni yule agent ananisumbua.
Yes.
No, there are so many agents in the market. You probably know some of them. Wengine mlienda na wao shuleni, sasa wanafanya insurance. Wengine ni marafiki zako. But sometimes we really tend to ignore insurance agents. You go, like lately I've been seeing this sort of like reality TV thing for dating, where people come in
and pop the balloon. Yes.
And I've been thinking, that is how it feels like when an agent goes to a networking forum. When you just say, I am an insurance agent, you just see everyone popping the balloons in their eyes. But one, there are many agents. I'm so happy to see that a lot of my colleagues are also joining the social media spaces. Like, unaanza kuona, hey, that's a young agent, maybe from this company, ako sasa TikTok. I'm really happy to see that. Because that already tells you we're getting the confidence, one, to come online, to educate people. Like what I use my platform for, it's not just a hard sale. Mimi nataka, let me go online, I do some content, I educate people, I tell you this is how motor insurance works, or this is how life insurance works. Then niulize maswali, if you see I can be, I can get you a good product, let's work together. Wow. So Ali, there are agents all over.
Yes.
Just give them an opportunity.
Give them time. Yeah.
Give us an opportunity. Get someone, mtu young, you walk with them through this journey. As you grow into a big business mogul, you get unapata, they're able to insure for you your studio when you're starting off, your equipment. Even when you branch off into other business ventures, someone that you work with in that journey.
I get it.
Yes.
And maybe we can talk about something that many people do not talk about. And
yes.
I personally don't know, but I think it is something that happens because I've seen on international media,
yes.
Billionaires, millionaires
yes.
being accused of something called insurance fraud. What would you say is insurance fraud, and what are the consequences of insurance fraud?
Now, and it's not just, let me tell you, it's not just a thing of billionaires and millionaires. It's just trying to game the system. It's what we were talking about. Insurance fraud is as simple as I realize that, say, I have a condition and I run immediately.
That is fraud?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Like, we have a principle, like one of the guiding principles of insurance, inaitwa principle of utmost good faith.
Good faith, yeah.
Okay. Where you are supposed, by the time you're taking a cover, you're supposed to give proper information. You're not supposed to withhold any material facts that could impact the cover you've taken and any claim. So let's look at how insurance fraud mara mingi inafanyika. You take up, let's say, a last expense. Last expense ni hii ya mazishi, Ali, where you can take up a cover and maybe you cover yourself ama mzazi, say up to 400,000, 500K, so that should your parent pass away, this money is paid out to you to be able to cater for the burial expenses. Okay? Sasa mzazi maybe ana pass away. Mara mingi utapata last expense cover zitakuwa na 6 months waiting period ukichukua. That means if death happens after the 6th month, italipwa. So now the parent passes away, say, on month 4.
Wow.
Or 5. You get.
Or
so
the last
someone
week
buys
of
time.
month 6. Yeah.
Yes, someone buys time.
Yeah.
And then now tries to forge documents.
Okay.
Tries to forge, the burial permits. You get those kind of things. So insurance fraud is actually at that level. Insurance fraud could be as simple as, let's say umechukua cover, your sister is your brother is unwell. Unampa ile cover yako aende hospitali. But then we have seen that. I think there's a story that was making rounds some time back where a gentleman had 2 ladies. Like, one is the actual wife. Na alikuwa na another lady. He was having a relationship on the side. And for the actual wife, because he was employed and he had an employer-provided cover, sasa bibi pia alikuwa they were covered by the employer-provided plan. So the girlfriend, let's call her that, the girlfriend gets sick, anaenda hosi. So anatumia cover ya nani?
Ya bibi.
Ya bibi. Then she passed away. Do you get? So what information iko hosi?
Bibi yake amepass.
Yes.
Wow.
But who has passed away?
The girlfriend.
That is fraud. And that is fraud. And even for medical insurance, sometimes utakuwa like when you're hospitalized, if you're admitted in hospital, unapata the insurance company, not your agent, the insurance company, hata inatuma one of their employees akulete kadi, sometimes maua. Wamekuja kuconfirm kama you get, they're doing their due diligence.
Yes.
Because they have been hit by this over and over again. Utapata, maybe niko na cover ya mtoto wangu. Mtoto wa sister yangu anakuwa mgonjwa. What do I do?
Empatia.
Anampatia tu na, so insurance fraud is not even just like atikitu, just billionaires are doing and sijui who is doing. Even here at, just normal mwananchi level, there's always people maybe who are trying to game the system. I remember a few years back, there was a whole sort of like racket, like ilikuwa inasemekana hapa Thika Road, ya kuangusha SUVs. And then claim.
I think I remember so.
And it was a big, it was said to be very booming business. Range Rovers would be crushed and paka gari zinachomwa.
Okay.
So inakuja, you crash it, you go claim, you get the money back. And really, the repercussions of this is then you start seeing insurance companies really struggling. Do you get? Because gari inaingia, claim ina premium inalipwa, maybe umelipia how much? Let's even say at 4%, maybe gari ya 7M.
Yes.
Sindio? So umelipa to 80K yako. So umelipa, and then 3 months later, claim ya 7M inakuja. So there's no way that these companies can stay afloat with such happening. And that was a whole like insurance fraud ring that was happening.
Let me just ask this.
Yes.
Unaweza pelekwa jela juu ya hiyo?
Yes, it's a criminal act.
It's a criminal offense?
Yes, it's a criminal offense, of course. Kabisa. Kabisa.
Even the smallest version of insurance fraud?
I haven't seen someone taken to jail over
to
that.
Court
over that. But the one thing that people don't really realize is, one, I know a lot of people get blacklisted. Like over the whole racket thing, Yamagari, I know there are people in this country who can barely get insurance in their names. Very prominent people can barely get insurance in their name because of being involved in such.
Yeah.
So the other thing people need to understand is that insurance companies have detectives on their payroll. Like, yeah, proper.
But not the agents.
No, not the agents. Agents ni mimi.
Yeah, okay.
And they actually do proper investigation. Okay. So, and sometimes it will be the simple things like maybe accident may happen. You know, because we need to be very keen on what you're doing. Accident may happen. It may happen sangapi saa 8 usiku. It may happen wapi. Ilikuwa, are you seeing what I'm driving to?
Yes.
What were the last M-Pesa messages on your statement?
That is a
Ulikuwa sijui ba wapi.
Yeah.
Umelipa M-Pesa, it can be seen. You paid 6K, you get. So I keep saying, having insurance is not a license now not to be
responsible.
Careful.
Yes,
and responsible. So even the small things that you keep hearing, if you're too inebriated, chukua tu Uber, nenda nyumbani. Because, and now that's how eventually you see people who are very angry saying insurance companies, you know, I had this cover, I was played, but it's probably because you were cornered to a point where they saw that you had been in this place up to this. There's even evidence that you were paying, you know, maybe, I don't know, your toxicology, kama ulipelekwa hospitali, pia daktari anasema limit ya pombe maybe ilikuwa imefika hapa. Yeah.
Now let's have this conversation, because I have a community of people who are interested in actually, you know, building empires, building businesses.
Yes.
And for the longest time, you know, insurance agents wamekuwa kichukuliwa tu kama wase fulani msoto.
Oh.
It's the truth. Even the people who are watching, I'm sure wanaweza ascertain to that. Like, ukionaga mtu insurance, huyu anataka tu pesa yangu, you know. But looking at Mama Bima, sorry, as a brand, you've actually been able to change the narrative. You've got awards for that. Probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, insurance agent in Kenya. How are you actually able to build this from scratch?
Okay. So now, thank you so much. Hey guys, I'm not the biggest insurance agent in Kenya. So, and by the way, hata mimi nilianza nikiwa msoto. You see that agent mwenye wewe unaona kiatu imeparara, ametembea, amesweat, please show them grace. Ali, I was forever on Anduthi, running from one meeting to the other.
Yes.
And when you're starting off in insurance, sometimes it is so hard because biashara yetu haina retainer, hakuna mshahara. It's just commission, purely commission.
Yes.
So if I run up and about and I don't sell anything, that's it for the day. But I came from formal employment, and when I left my last employer, I was earning 191K, and my mother was so angry. She was not getting, I think she thought kichwa ilikuwa imeruka because I was working in a very decorated banking institution.
8 to 5.
Yes, 8 to 5. But I knew the hard work that I put in, I wanted to go to an environment where my hard work equals to what I'm able to get. Okay? So when you're starting off in insurance, it is very difficult. But let me tell you, if you see the people who have made it in this business, it's only that insurance agents, by the way, I think they're shy, they're demure. When they get the money, they go into the, they don't hang out with us normal people out here. But, and of course, we're not saying that a car is the hallmark of wealth.
Yes, yes.
But in this Nairobi, when you see V8s running up and down, when you see Lexuses and you see Range Rovers, the first Maybach I ever entered is owned by, okay, I've not entered another one, but the first Maybach I ever got into is owned by an insurance agent. And it is so customized. I think he went to Germany to have it customized. It even has his name.
That's crazy.
Okay. And he is so moneyed, but you will never see him. He just works hard. He's just, this guy is so well put together, so hardworking, but very quiet. Kids, Brookhouse. Do you get?
So tusione insurance agents tuanze kusema
we start from there, for sure. Majority of us, because when you're starting off in insurance, for a long time, by the way, our business ilikuwa yenye umekataliwa, you couldn't get a job anywhere else. So you just come and decide, you know what? At least insurance will never turn you away. If you go ask for a job, utapata. And we do have a lot of those, like girls whom I look up to in this business, who take home 3 meter plus per month on month, just maybe from their life insurance sales. And they started from a point of, amemaliza college, they could not get any job. And they go into insurance business, and finally it picks up and it does very well. So ukipata mtoto kama, like a girl like that, probably in her late 30s, early 40s, living in Karen. Leo she's driving a Jaguar, kesho she's in a disco, the next day she's in a Prado. You may not get it. You may think she's always been moneyed. When you find her kids, all her kids are at Brayside, you may be thinking, ooh, you get. But she has really worked hard to get there. And that is the beauty of our industry. I came into this business 5 years ago, and I had to start from scratch.
Were you scared? You're leaving employment.
So I was a new mom at the time. My child had just turned 1. And the dreams that I had, honestly, I knew my former job and the salary and how it was growing. I knew they could not be met by that. Fortunately, my husband works in insurance. Since I met him, he's always been an insurance agent. So I had already seen, kwanza the girls, like his friends at work, they were driving Mercedes, like AMGs. I'm like, what? Like, what? You meet with them, if you hang out with them, wakona, back in the day, we really admired like VS Baby Vera and the hair, like you don't look at Vera meva sijui nywele ya 40K, and back in the day it used to be like, how do you do 40K kwa nywele? And you meet these girls who are so polite, so quiet, and that is what they put on their head. You're like, what? So I would say got into the business. I was scared for sure because I had never done a sales job. Mine was always desk, customer experience. But I think the hope for a better, future, the hope that I had deep down in my heart was, if I just work hard, you get.
It will just work out.
I knew it had to be better than what I had with my employer. I knew it would turn out just right. And, with time, as of this year, like at the, we have what is called AKI Awards, the Association of Kenya Insurers. This year, I was ranked the #1 medical insurance agent in the country, and the #4 life insurance agent in the country. So it's come with a lot of sacrifice. So I'm a workaholic, by the way. That's why we are shooting this on a whole public holiday. But I really put in the work, and I think this is the right environment. So if you have like even young people, they are your audience who are thinking, maybe I could try out my hand in this business. If you're willing to put in the work, this is a very good field.
How long did it take you, to close one good client and you said, you know what, I never probably envisioned this, or probably I never knew it was going to come this soon? Like how long did it take?
It took me 3 months to close a really good sale. My first month, I only closed 1 medical cover, 1 motor cover. And trust me, I was working every day. Na nilifunga tu biashara tuwili. But so that was October. November was also quite dry-ish. But December that year, there's a lady mwenye niliuzia a product that paid me more than what I was earning with my former employer.
Okay.
Or close to, but it was slightly more than what I used to get net after tumetoa taxes. It was more, and I think that is the sign I needed from God. As in, it was that sign of, yes,
it's gonna
I
work.
will stick into this business. Or then came 2020 and COVID happened, and it was like, nilikuja wapi? Yes, but even in the midst of all that storm and the fear, like when COVID happened, do you know that's where Mama Bima came from?
Wow.
Ali, let me tell you, I was the shyest person. You know, nowadays people look at me and they're thinking, no, she has a huge personality.
Yeah.
Back in the day, maybe hata ungeniuliza jina, I think I would have fumbled to say mine.
Wow.
Like if you put me in a place to network, I would just stay in a corner on my phone. Not because I'm antisocial, because I'm probably fearful of interacting with people. So when COVID hit, remember my baby was still young, maybe at the point where maybe a year, 8 months, thereabout. So we were really confined in the houses. And I realized because insurance, before especially COVID, we had to do one-on-one. I had to walk around and look for people to sell to, right? Go into offices, stop you on the streets if I can. You find me in the mall, na kusimamisha, hi, you know? So when COVID happened, we didn't have access to that. So I started going back to my WhatsApp to write to my contacts like, hey, when your motor insurance is due for renewal, please give me an opportunity to also do for you a quote, and we see if I could give you a better deal. Okay. Or, you know, like if you are looking to open a money market fund, I could help you do that. So I started actually doing small selling on WhatsApp, and it started working. Okay, people, you know, you would get someone who tells you, hey, by the Charlene, gari yangu, sina cover ama naleta gari, ebu nitafutie cover. So that started when now the market started opening, vile tulianza saa kutoka tena sasa kurudi kazi. That's when now I opened my social media. If you look for me, I did not have a social media presence like before COVID. Upate Charlene Kimara akikwambia nini online. I've never been that person who will like overshare and tell you about my life. You get? So I remember even when I created my Mama Bima Facebook page, that's when I actually opened my Charlene Joe Facebook account so that I could create the page. Do you get? But I think at that point now I went back because in college, by the way, nilisomea literature and communication. So I can be quite creative, kwa majina. So I sat down, I was like, now how do I want to brand myself? What will I call myself? Yeah, and I just learned. I learned from YouTube. I didn't know how to shoot. My first videos were atrocious, by the way. To look at a video, very dim. You can tell tunashik tu, nimeshikilia na vitabu. But you know, started and here we are. Yes.
So would you say social media has played a key role in, you know, building Mama Bima as a brand?
99.9% of my clients come from social media. Like,
wow.
Let me tell you, you know, that's what people don't get it.
That is absolutely
people wonder,
insane. Yeah.
How can you be 5 years into insurance and you are the top medical insurance agent? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, how can you be number 4 in life insurance if you look at everyone whom I went on stage with, ni watu wamefanya biashara for 15 years, 20, 30. Like you just don't come out of nowhere and shoot. Personally, what has worked, it's just ni favor my online clients. Like getting onto social media just changed everything for me. I don't have per se like at your community yenye ningekwambia, oh, my uncle is rich, ati naenda ananipea biashara zake. But they sina hiyo. My clients, and I say 99.9% because hapa na pale sikosi a friend who comes and takes a cover with me, who would probably still take the cover with me even if I went on social media. But the absolute, like all my clients pretty much come from social media.
Yeah. Social media is a huge platform. It's a huge opportunity.
Yes.
But the problem comes with getting to trust you. This is a stranger. I've never met you. I've never known you. And I'm just seeing you, doing videos about insurance. How are you able to build that trust to your audience?
Honestly, my first 2 years, I don't think I ever sold anything from social media. It didn't start off, like even now, the lady I was telling you whom I sold to like 3 months into the business, that was in social media. A little WhatsApp. Remember, those were still my existing contacts. Tunajuana. But I think what I got right with social media, I knew from the word go, I was not looking per se at it to be an influencer or anything. Good. I just told myself, I will keep showing up on these platforms. I will keep creating content. Hey, until we are ending mahali. But let's listen to what she's saying.
Yeah.
Ali, before my numbers grew on IG, my lord, like if there's a platform yenye ilikuwa imekataa kugrow.
IG is quite hard.
IG yangu ilikuwa imekataa. And most times, even when people would comment, even the few comments you'd get, they were always negative. It would be always insurance is this, you people, you're liars, you don't. But me, I just tell myself, it's telling the algorithm, they're interacting with my content. So, but I think what really worked is I kept showing up until, people anyway, I think sometimes watu wakisikiza sana, eventually they start giving you an opportunity. And I think I've been so fortunate because I was able to, my message really got out there, especially to young moms. Okay, there's just something special about young mothers in this country. And young mothers give you a chance. Young mothers are very keen on insuring, especially their children, their families, you get. So if your message gets out to a mother, ataleta to the table, atakuja na bwanake, if, he's in the picture. And, and that's how we just started.
Yes. So if there's anyone who's, looking at being an insurance agent.
Yes.
And they don't have a social media.
Yes. You're missing out. Please get into social media. And I keep saying, by the way, Ali, social media, as we are just, I'm here insisting. Especially for the younger, that younger person who's looking to get into insurance. Look at what you've been able to build. Courtesy of social media.
Yeah, true.
These digital platforms.
Yeah.
It is, by the way, it is the same thing. Insurance business is a business like any other. Come onto the platforms, be very honest, do your part of educating. Trust me, educate people, they will come. Okay? And please take advantage. I think we have one of the people that I really love. I love how young Kenyans have just learned how to maximize on the potential of social media and monetize from it. You get?
Yeah.
Just apply the same thing. Social media is not just here for us to shop. You get? So people are actually shopping. If you're here to shop for clothes and shop for what? Let also people come and shop for insurance from your own platform.
Yes.
So yes, I think at this point, it's a must-have. Having a social media presence for every insurance agent. And at the end of the day, what will happen? Because we're still in a market where insurance penetration is still very low. You can imagine if we had like 3,000 agents, do you get?
Yes.
On different social media platforms who come in every day and put up a selfie, put up a short video saying something educative, we will be able to reach so many people. So I keep saying, a lot of people are like, hatuwezi kulania, hatuwezi maliziana nyasi. You get?
The cake is too big.
The cake is big enough for all of us. Even if all the 11,000 agents in the Kenyan market really wanted to get onto social media, trust me, there will just be a ripple effect where more people will get to know of what are the solutions out there, and we'll get more people insured.
Quick question.
Yes.
In terms of, there's another question I want to ask you about how to set claim.
Yes.
But before that, I want to know, in terms of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or even 9 figures,
yes,
what is the biggest business you've ever closed?
Okay. So are we talking of in terms of how much it paid me as a commission?
You can talk about that and also say about how much they paid.
Okay. So, let me see. I told you I'm not the biggest agent.
It's okay. It's okay.
So, for me, on average, I think the biggest business that paid me, just one business per month, I would say maybe I've done a number of like 800K from one biashara, thereabout.
Wow.
But the insurance pays well. You'll find, say like the life insurance business, yangu, whatever I'm able to do month on month, it never goes below 7 figures.
Wow.
Yes,
that is crazy.
It never goes below 7 figures. And it's starting to be like a multiple of 7 figures.
Wow.
And please, this is not flossing. Please, please, please. But also, I don't believe in being a gatekeeper. A lot of people think insurance agents don't earn. I have sat down with a gentleman who was renewing an insurance policy. Now, this was big. A medical cover for a big scheme where the premiums are going to be 46 million shillings just from one biashara. And that's just medical. He has the entire general insurance for that scheme. People earn like serious money. We have insurance agents out here in the market who probably earn more than your favorite CEO, month on month.
Wow.
So I'm not yet there. I know I will get there, but also I can tell you also the average insurance agent when you're push, because also pia sasa siko beginner anymore.
Yes.
Na pia siko hapa katikati, maybe nimeanza sasa kufika hapa juu, but still sijafika cream. There are still agents who are miles ahead of me. They've been in the business for so long. They have very high net worth clientele and very big schemes. But also hapa penye nimefika, there's still a group of many agents who are able to do multiples of 7 figures month on month.
Quick one. How are the commissions calculated?
So now, this is dependent. Commissions for different products vary. Utapata kuna product yenye maybe italipa 10%, kama vitu kama medical insurance, you get. Nikiuzia a young person, say, cover ya 24,000, you get. That's 10% of that 24K. And that will be paid once a year, hadi it's renewed. And then, of course, then there is a tax also of 10% on that.
Yes.
On what I'm taking home, okay? So commissions for the different products, whether ni medical, ama what we call also non-motor, ama ni motor, or life insurance, they vary product to product.
They vary.
Yes.
Let's talk about this question because tunamalizia naambiwa time imeenda kidogo.
Yes.
So, how do I, set a claim? Let's say gari yangu imepata accident. Let's say a loved one has passed away.
Yeah.
Let's say I am sick. I'm sure, depending on the policy, there's a different way to,
Yes. Tuanza na gari, because that's very common. And by the way, Ali, I hope, please, insurance pays claims. The insurance policy that you have ought to be paid as long as you're with a good underwriter, and it should not be painful for your claim to be paid. There are people, like you will have a cover, mtu mwingine akona cover, and the experience is so different just because their agent took them to the right place. Okay? If you're unwell, for example, na umeenda hospitali, the claim, it's just immediate. Hiyo tu ni kadi, unapeana, your member number, that's it. That should be very easy. If you're stuck in hospital because of what we call pre-authorization, hospitali inakwambia tumetuma sijui to the insurance company, they approve something, call your agent. It is something they can do for you pre-auth in a matter of 10 minutes, your kitu imemalizika. Okay? Or ask your agent to teach you how to do that pre-auth. It's just a number you call. If you're with company X, unawapigia, unawambia, hey, ametaga Khan, wametuma this, have you received it? And then you ask them, how long should it be? Most times watakwambia 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If it's motor, you've gotten into an accident, number one, at the scene, let's say bado uko kwa scene. Do you get? First, ensure that you're safe. Sindio? Number two, chukua picha. like take as many photos as you can of the scene. Sindio? Then now involve the authorities. Mara mingi itamaanisha when you get an abstract, and at that point the policemen will know who to apportion the blame to, who was on the wrong. Sindio? Once now you have the abstract, okay? Also inform your agent. Like me, immediately my client informs me they've been in an accident. My team immediately writes to the insurance company first to notify them this client has gotten into an accident. We will share more details. Now after that tunatuma claim form, client anajaza, okay? Then with that with the abstract that comes in, mara mingi if the car bado inaweza move, tutaomba uipeleke assessment center. If it's not movable, then a towing service provider atatumwa, maybe achukue ile gari from the police station, ipelekwe for assessment. Do you get? Now, at the assessment center, there's an assessor mwenye atatumwa. Akuja angalie gari na atengeneze report for the insurance company. And then the process moves from that. Ali, by the way, for a good insurance company in this market, mara mingi utapata, you see like that bit of kutuma towing, ileto assessment center, assessment ifanywe, report itoke, it takes like 24 hours for those different services. So within 3 days, gari ko garage.
Wow.
You get? Na unaona gari kifika garage, then at that point wanaangalia are the spare parts locally available. Do you get? So garage nao wanafanya shopping haraka, wanatuma to the insurance company kuambia this will be the cost of the repairs.
Yes.
They negotiate a little bit, na kazi inaanza.
Yeah.
So claiming should not be a difficult process. If you're with the right company, it will happen very fast. I think if you're with the wrong company, it can be very frustrating. The last one, you asked, what if I lose a loved one? Let's say it was a last expense cover. Ali, last expense in this market, it's paid within 48 hours. 48 hours. Kwanza last expense claim, hata huwa huitishwi death certificate. Unaitishwa tu, send us the death notification or the burial permit. Here is the form, please fill it out. And the insurance company pays.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to mention,
yes,
someone is not paid.
Yes.
Aki commit suicide.
So, in medical insurance, suicide is an exclusion. It's not paid, okay? In life insurance, suicide is paid, okay? So it's a law in Kenya where if suicide happens after 2 years of your life insurance cover being in force, then it will be paid in full, okay? So it's just paid as a natural
death. That include whole life, eh?
Yes, including the whole life, because the reality is suicide is actually a health issue, like mental health. You get? We need to make it more mainstream and people to realize that by the time tunafika that part of kusema, I'll self-harm, amelemewa kabisa.
Yes.
So it's an illness like any other. So as long as your life insurance policy in Kenya has been running for 2 years plus, it would be paid in full.
Yes. Thank you so much. That has been quite an insightful and informative conversation. Asante sana Mama Bima. I'm really happy you came. I'm hoping to see you again.
Yes.
Maybe we can have another conversation in regards to insurance or something else.
Yes.
But for someone who's looking at, getting more information about insurance, getting a policy, talking to you as an agent, getting a cover through you as an agent, how do they find you?
Okay. And first, I'm so grateful, Presenter Ali. I mean, I've always seen you online.
Thank you.
I always say, young people like you make me so happy. When I see young people, when you're out there and you're monetizing these spaces, amazing. Congratulations for the work that you do. And thank you for giving me access to your audience, a much younger audience who otherwise I wouldn't have accessed. But yes, to reach me, I'm on social media. I am here trying. My platforms are Mama Bima Kenya. You may also reach me on email at mamabima@places.co.ke. I'll give Ali the email address here, mamabima@places.co.ke, or call me or reach me on WhatsApp or phone number on 0739 040 400. I do my best to also ensure my DMs are well responded to and in good time. So please feel free to reach out. If you'd like to come to my actual office, I am based in Kilimani along Chaka Road, a building called Titan Complex on mezzanine floor. Ukiingia tu hapa ulize kwa Mama Bima. They all know me. So yes, so thank you so much, Ali. It's lovely having this conversation with you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We are also trying to build a community of young entrepreneurs who want to scale their businesses from 4 to 5, 6, or even 7 figures. So if you're interested, I've put the link in my description of my WOP channel. We already have over 150 members who are willing to work with us, who are willing to be coached. So if you feel like you're one of them, please feel free to check out my WOP link in description. Thank you so much. Minister Presenter Ali, your entertainment PA. The A is always for amazing. I'll see you guys in the next video.